I would say I'm definitely a seasonal crafter when it comes to the holidays, Halloween. Not everybody sees the same vision as Halloween, but I love the chance to get to craft Halloween and kind of, yeah, maybe kiss on fall, but most of it is Halloween. So we are going to start off today's video and we are going to be crafting with a witch's hat. Anyway, so this, I bought a couple hats off of Factory Direct. I had them shipped right to my house to be able to craft with. So how fun is that, just getting to create your own little version of what you want? You can go out to the stores and you can buy whatever you want if you are one who decorates for Halloween, or if you are a crafter like me, you see all the opportunities to make your own personalized items. You could most definitely start to paint this by hand if you wanted to, but I have a can of black spray paint, so I'm going to make the process a little bit easier. I want to get that inside done also. So today's projects are going to be brought to you by How Messy Can I Get? So now we need to take this cardboard hat and we want to add texture to it. So I'm going to take Mod Podge and Kleenexes. Yep. So I was just trying to think of something like, okay, what would dry? I saw people using fabric and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take as long to dry as my air dry clay. So I thought we'll just start adding tissues, or tissue paper would work. That was my train of thought here, is that we were just going to add tissue, and we can cut the excess off. Of course, 2-ply, but we just want some little wrinkles in the hat to make it look like it's fabric. If it rips, oh well. Witch has had this hat for hundreds and thousands of years, if you watch Hocus Pocus. So yeah, we're just going to be layering them on. We'll work our way up when we get to that point. Wonder if it'd be easier not to do 2-ply, but I've already started the 2-ply. Nope, we're just going. I am a kind of wing it as I go kind of person, y'all, so I'm sorry. I figure out my boo-boos or my trains of thoughts as we are working on it. I kind of like it building up a little bit thicker in that area. Nope, this is not 5-minute crafts here, y'all. Have you seen those? I don't even. They are so like, yeah, that's not a real puppy. That's not gonna work. Oh, that's giving it lots of texture. Oh, there, I got the base done, so now we're going to start working up. I'm not even, I think I need to get more on at a time for this, because it goes into a cone shape and gets small. And you're like, you're covering all your black up. Well, once you finish it, you don't want to accidentally see any of that cardboard, so it's safer to paint it black first. And then we're just going to go in and start doing texture. And it makes texture really fast. Honestly, this is today's crafts are going to be messy. Not that the rust one was messy, but that definitely made a ton of texture. It was fun at the beginning. It's like a little kid. Getting messy is fun. So I love the tissue paper, or I love the Kleenex. I think it's a lot of fun. So that added, look at all that texture going on. I tried to stay away from doing, I mean, it this kind of doesn't even make straight seams. So now that's a lot of glue to dry. So I'm going to turn a fan on and let it dry. So I want to dye some cheesecloth. This is just your basic cheesecloth. But I like to age it instead of making it be bright white. So just, I think it's just one layer. Yep, just that's what it is. So I have water and instant coffee in here. And it's so easy. It's so easy to dye cheesecloth. See? It's that easy. So now I'm just going to set it off to the side and let it dry. So I have this that I want to put on the hat, but it's way too new, so it still has some of that coffee. So we'll just, it's actually kind of thick paper, so I'm going to give it a second. Not quite as fast as what the other was, but see. I think I'll just soak it and then just set it off and let it dry on. Paint by hand or spray paint it now that it's dry? I'm spray painting it because we have a lot of other elements we're going to add to it. So while my paint is still wet, I'm going to take cinnamon and decrepit dust, and I'm just going to kind of play around and get a little bit of patina on there. Whatever falls is what falls. I like adding two different colors. And then to take down the brightness of where I did all that, I just put another coat of spray on. Okay, my paint is now dry, so I'm going to seal everything in. Like, to the touch, it's dry. So we're going to seal it in with Weather Defense. Okay, so I want to draw a 31 on here. I'm going to freehand it. I'm not very good with freehanding, but we'll see. I'm going to try to not overthink it. Good luck with that. And to make it bigger. Does anybody else not like their penmanship? I always said it's because I had to, you know, I did hair in the 80s when all the perms were, the perms were a big thing. Hello, carpal tunnel. Yep, had carpal tunnel surgery in my 30s. You know, I have a prim vibe. I love primitives. I love Rusty Crusties, and nothing says Rusty Crusty like a Rusty Crusty star. So I'm going to see if I'm able to take some of these that I thrifted and go up. I'm not sure what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and twist this though. Give it a little curly cue. Just a curlicue. With the hopes that I can attach it to the top. Ooh, I get you up here with me. And that we can go around. That's why I didn't want to cut it off, because I wasn't sure where I'd want to end it. Oops. I'm grabbing that cheesecloth on myself. And then I think that's good. So I have my cheesecloth is dry now. Maybe I should have put my cheesecloth on first. It's okay. It's okay. There we go. And then we're going to give it a knot. It's all about not having it move on you. Now the decrepit dust and cinnamon makes sense, giving it that primitive vibe. There we go. I got some tightness. So then I want to use that to attach. So I want to use that little end to attach the 31. And then I have a bag of rusty. Who says a witch can't have a bell? You might want to hear the witch coming. I thought I would just add a couple to offset the tie on the one side. Because it's just fun to make these spirals. And then I do have some hot glue. And then I got some baby's breath out. Which I thought looks very fallish. Last year, my friend Diane picked me up some of the Halloween buckets at Walmart. I think they were like, were they 50 cents, Diane? I can't remember. But I had an idea of what I could do to transform this. This is something that you're going to see out and about. Maybe you've already got one in your stash. It's not old. It's probably only worth the 50 cents, but they are so fun to make over. As cute as he is white, I had an orange one, but I'm like, oh, classic orange. I don't know if I want to paint it over. So I am going to go ahead and spray the inside first and then spray the outside because I have a look that I want to create it into. So, you know, one of my favorite colors is what I'm going to paint this jack-o'-lantern. Rust. We're going to be using Dixie's Bells Rust to paint this little feller. I'm using a smaller brush just because there's detail on it. I want to get around the handles. I thought that would be fun to rust him right up. That's why I wanted to paint him black first. I like the tapping motion because that's what kind of reminds me of rust would be a texture, not a brush on. Okay, I'm going to set it in a couple thrifted hockey pucks so we can rise it up. Go in with my patinas, and I usually always start off with the green one. I'm going to spray the whole thing. Yep, I have it on the Lazy Susan because that just helps. We're going to go in with some of the blue. I like when you put the blue and the green together because it already kind of makes a rusty color. I do like to do yellow. So what I'll do is just let it run down. And then I will spray back over with some of the green. And that just kind of blends it all together. And there are different rust products out there, so. How good did this turn out? Look at that. Oh, it looks great. Oh my gosh. So before spraying and sealing this in, I'm going to go ahead and paint so these little features stick out. This is just coal black from Fusion. Of course, you can skip this step if you want. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and seal this in just using some of my Weather Defense clear coat that I like to use, kind of a universal for me. So just a foam pumpkin. I think this one probably was from Hobby Lobby. It's in my stash from last year. I didn't create with it last year. Have you seen the overlay where they take air dry clay and they make it look like the pumpkin has a ghost on it? And everybody that I see do it, it turns out fabulous. And I'm like, okay, other than it takes a lot of air dry clay and it takes days to dry, I thought, you know what, I want to give it a try. Is it really as easy as they make it look? Okay, so I know that we need to take this off. So I'm sure that it is glued on. So we just need to get that glue released. Whew. Okay, we got it. Whew. That was, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fun either. So set that off to the side, set the pumpkin off to the side, clean up my styrofoam mess, and we'll get rolling out some air dry. So my favorite air dry clay to use is the DAS, because I like DAS. I like how it stays moist. I don't usually have too much cracking going on, and I'm really not sure like how much I need. Like I watched other people do it, and they like took the crayon brand, and I'm like, I've never had good luck with that. It cracks, it dries unevenly, so that's why I'm going for this one. So I think I'm going to, I don't know, what you think? What do you think? Half? Okay, well that might be more than half. But it looks like it's like nice and thick on them, so it's all about having fun crafting. So I'm just going to get my rolling pin. Oh, nope. First, I'm going to do some, so I'm able to peel it up. Just some baking soda, flour, you know, whatever. Release agent, kind of like baking a pie, which I don't bake pies, but graham cracker crust pies, yes. So we're gonna put that there. Put a little bit on my rolling pin. Yes, I had to get one of my rolling pins out of my stash. And then we're going to start rolling it. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I need the whole package. I don't know. Maybe I do need the whole package. I don't know. Is that too thin? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to bring my pumpkin over. So far, so good. We're going to drop it right on there. Did I get it off enough? I don't know. Does it need to be more? I think it needs to be more. I think we're going to start off again, and I'm going to add more to it because it was starting to get too thin. Maybe it takes the whole package. Try again. It's all good, but now I need to mix them together. That's okay. I'll get all the problem solving out of the way for you all. So if you guys want to create it, of course, when somebody's making a reel or a short, they're just showing their best finished look. They're not usually showing their boo-boos. This would be really good for people who do make pies with pie crust. If I have to make a pie, I cheat and just get the Pillsbury. Fold it over. We'll get our pumpkin now. And now I'm going to flop it on there. Oh, that's much better. I probably don't even need that piece, y'all. Much better. So now I need to go get a cup of water because now we need to form it to the pumpkin. Okay, I have a little cup of water. And now we're just going to start working it into the grooves. Pushing it down. what we're looking for is those pumpkin grooves. That's the nice thing with the air dry clay. Just because you rolled it doesn't mean you have to stick with what it became. We're just trying to, and I'm putting some good pressure on to do it. Okay, I'm going to start playing with my little skirting there, getting it to be the way I want it. And then I'll get back with you after I've played with this for a while. So as I'm working with it, I'm like, yeah, this side is hanging all the way off. So that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and just rip it off. It's air dry clay. We can make it moldable back to what it needed to be. If I have too much, I'll just take it off. I think that's the easiest, just to work it around. We can wipe it off the pumpkin. That's not any big deal. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to get my eyeballs in here. So trying to decide where I want them, which I think is right here. So you just push your thumb. Don't worry, because you're going to paint this. So if you see a little bit and you go through, you just want that bump out of his eyeball, like that. And then how far apart do I make them, right? So the nose, maybe. Not quite as big as the eyes. So I'm really just pushing my finger in there. I didn't feel like I was getting enough groove, so I took the end of a paintbrush and then I took some of the product off so I could really see those ridges, and then going back in with the water. Now I'm taking, it's a little bit messy, y'all, a fan brush, a really soft brush, and now I'm just working out some of the little lumps in there, because every time I put my finger on it, I would just be making another lump, or my nail would touch it. And that way I can smooth out that top without touching it with my fingers. You know what? I probably need to get this back in here. There we go. I don't want, I'd rather it be in there now than all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, and then it's dry and I forgot to put it in and I crack my air dry. So, okay, now I have to patiently wait for it to dry. Is it as perfect? I don't know. I think it's cute. I did put it on Lazy Susan so I could turn it. But see how we want to make that chunky. And every touch changes it. So, yeah, like I said, I think you could critique all day. If you have all day to critique it, then go for it. But I think it's going to be super cute anyway when it dries. So wait, overnight or sit in front of a high-powered fan for 4 hours is exactly what I did. So, you know, we only have so much time in the day, y'all. So I want to clean. I have now made the messiest bottom. So see if I can get him to not roll. I don't know how they would keep it clean, but since it's just air dry clay and it's not sealed in, it's easy enough to clean. Just a Clorox wipe, fingernail, Now, I can't say it's completely cured, but it's cured enough that I can paint it for y'all. Because I do think I can get this back off, which is still a little wet underneath there, but I want to paint that, and it'll be easier to paint around if I'm not. Yeah, Fusion's Picket Fence, if I don't have that on. I picked a paint that had a top coat all in one, so I didn't have to worry about spraying it. Because as you see, that's, you know, it's slightly off-white, the air dry clay. Very fun project. Already touched the pumpkin. Okay, and then when that dries, I can flip it upside down and get that little bit of a lip. Okay, flipped it over now. Now we're just working on that little layer there. Okay, now I'm going to paint those little eyeballs in the nose. I'm going to take some coal black and we're going to do the stem. I just feel like it needs to be more than just black or that brown. I'm going to use some Titebond to put it back in, because you got to be careful. Like, I can't use my CA Star Blonde glue or anything like that because it just melts styrofoam. Learned that the hard way. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Yes, I love the crafting, the DIYing, the whimsical of the holidays, especially like all like, we got a ghost, we got a witch, we've got a pumpkin and a ghost. So they're just fun to create. It's just like it would be fun to do these in a group. It would be fun to do these with your children, your grandchildren. They're just, the wait time on dry might be a little much for little kids, but it was a lot of fun to create these, and I hope you enjoyed today's content, and I hope you at least give one of these a try. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.